Well, ladies and gentlemen, he does need a formal introduction. He's a coach, he's a mentor, he's a community leader. He's a go-to guy for a lot of us, and also not only in ACN, but spiritually, financially, mentally, and also in health as well. So he's a rounded coach, and I don't mean just a coach; I mean a rounded coach. And I just want to say this: I respect him so much, and I thank God for him taking time out of his schedule to be on there. As you know, his plate's pretty full most of the time, and he's got some things he's going through with loved ones, and he's always found time to stretch out an hour, 30 minutes for us. So without further ado, can we give a warm welcome to none other than Senior Vice President, Mr. Byron Nelson?
Good morning. I miss all of you guys. How have you guys been? Look at you, Jen, Caroline. I think Al already did roll call. I could just do it for all of you all over again because I just miss you guys. Hey, Diana. Oh, my goodness. Where do we start on this beautiful day that I've been honored to join you guys? I'm in a zone of right now, it's called the 120 days. And so just being transparent and sharing for what I do, you have to pick a time to be successful, to have what I call self-care. And I'm not just talking about a primp and pamper day, though I'm going to do that this weekend in depth, but to truly really refuel. So you'll find out that great leaders, they don't go on vacation to get away from their job. They don't go on their vacation to get away from their occupation, their vocation, their wife, their husband, their kids. I'm a firm believer, if you have to take a vacation and get away from any of those, you shouldn't be in it. You shouldn't have had the kids. You shouldn't have applied for the job. You shouldn't be married. I mean, the key to those that live in the top 2 percentile are those that know how to refuel. And you may be like, well, how does that work for me? I mean, I can't get away for like 120 days. It's a matter of isolation. So in that isolation, that still time, it doesn't mean that you're unproductive. It doesn't mean that you're out of communication. It doesn't mean that you're still in your lane doing whatever you need to do. It means that you become, and you can write this down, you want to become a minimalist during a period of time. Now, I do that generally for 2 reasons. Either number one, I'm literally in the lab. And you have to go to the lab consistently to reconstruct your life. This is going to go into the training I have for you this morning, where I've been living. Lance and a few other people have been plugged into it for a minute. But you got to go into that for either you need to go in because your life is not going in the direction that you want it to go. It's not that it's going bad. It's not even that it's going, it's going great. It could be going, but you need to retool it. Does that make sense? Najee, if you guys are following me on that, you need to retool it. So when you think of what, Dr. Thomas just talked about in regards to thinking outside of the box and being able to acquire customers and the balloon and the post, you got to think about creatively. This is your business. And that's the first thing you have to take ownership of. It's my business. Until you state it's my business, not I'm in a company, not I'm in ACN or NCA or ba 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 or boo boo boo. Until you claim that I am a serial entrepreneur, I am that business person, and I'm going to think outside the box to accumulate my market share, to be able to acquire my business. You got to understand that part in itself. In living in that space, for everybody here has a business, right? So if you have a business, here's my question. What was your marketing campaign for this week, Monday through Friday, to be able to build and accumulate your market share? That's what it's called. You can call them clients, you can call them customers, but when you decide to become a boss and you decide to run a business, then the word becomes market share. How much, see, when I built Australia, I wanted to own Australia. When I built Los Angeles, I wanted to own Los Angeles. When I built New York, I wanted to own New York. And I still do in every area. When I went to Colombia, I want to own Colombia. When I went to Mexico, I want to own Mexico. When I went to Chicago, and what I did is I identified and employed or deployed an ambassador that I would develop as a leader that I knew had the same vision as I did, that was in the same alignment as I was, that had the same values that I had the same character that I had, that had the same virtues that I had. You may have to go back and listen to this recording again. I'm talking fast, but had all of these different characteristics. There's a profile, me being you, you being me. Diana has a profile. Rick has a profile. Brandy has a profile. Now your profile, we would all like to go and date someone that was like us, even though that's not smart, because you need to date somebody who actually builds your weaknesses. That's a whole nother conversation. But when it comes to a mission, a destiny, and a calling in your life, then you want to find yourself. Does that make sense? You guys follow me on that so far? So you want to find yourself in that space of being able to find the people that have the same virtues and the same calling and the same characteristics as you do. Make sense? Najee, if that's making sense. So in that being said, what we're talking about, it goes back to when you're galvanizing your army. How many of you, I mean, if you're building your dream, how much more powerful would you be if you had 5 of you or 10 of you? So you're looking to attract yourself with the virtues of a vision and a work ethic and a character. Those 3 things. Character includes integrity, work ethic, and vision. So those 3 things are the most, when I'm looking to spot somebody that I'm going to let in my life to build my dream, these are the 3 most important things, which is the work ethic, the vision, and the character. It's the character of an individual that will allow you to stay when nobody else will stay, build when nobody else will build. In developing those 3 things, and as you're putting together your team, what you want to focus on is making sure that you have a blueprint. I'll give you a prime example. I did a relationship seminar last week. Can't remember. I think it was last week. Anyway, it was a women's empowerment relationship seminar. And the woman asked me, she said, I can't find the man I'm looking for. And you guys know my response is, no, you can't find a man because you aren't the woman that you need to be to attract the man that you need to have. But even worse than that, what it was you're looking for the person who's going to lift you up, that's going to truly be able to serve you at a higher frequency, who can contribute to you. But if you focus on yourself and you build yourself, you don't ever have to worry about the law of attraction. It's the same thing when I'm teaching people to build a business. They're building with the wrong people. Just because you have to have a standard in everything that you do. And that standard in attracting people will allow you to be able to accumulate and get a whole lot more done. So in being still for a period of time, notice where I'm going with this. It's going to be powerful as I pull it full circle. You want to attract somebody who's going to be able to build what you see, do what you do at a higher frequency, and do what you can't do at a better frequency. So when you're looking to attract somebody and build somebody and bring somebody to the table, you want to make sure that you are who you need to be. That's why leadership is so key. And how much leadership, when a person views you or has a perception of you, what do they see when they see you? What comes out of your mouth in your conversation? How powerful is your conversation? How enrolling is your conversation? To the point that when you share your conversation, the greatest word in business ever that will ever be is called value. The reason why you're with somebody is because there's value. The reason why you're on this call is because there's value. The reason why you give up your time, answer a phone call, go wherever you go is their value. When you get up in the morning and you go to the bathroom, there's value. When you put food in your mouth, it's because your body is seeking and there's value. You need to figure out where the value points are for you as a leader, as a human being that can attract people, that can grow your business. So when we look at these different ways of thinking outside of the box of attracting, I'm going to give you 15 different points here, 15 bullet points on how to blow your business up. Number 1, making a recording on WhatsApp or on Facebook, since many of you guys live in that space. I'm not big on it these days, but if I were to go out there and go on a complete mission, there's nothing like being able to leave messages and when you're looking at the people that you have in your Facebook, You should not be looking, I'm just using Facebook as an example. Are you guys with me on that so far? If I'm looking at the people in my Facebook, look at this. Let me see here if I can show this real quick. It's extraordinary. Back to Mr. Thomas, Dr. Thomas talking about outside the box. Because I beat my team up on this training before. This will be my Facebook. Okay, now it's very easy for me to go here. This is where the 90% go. They go here and they'll scroll through and they'll look for their friends, and or you go to your own page and you'll go to your friends and you do a survey of all your friends. Does that make sense? Are you guys with me on that so far? That's where 90% of people go. They go in there and they're looking at all their friends. That's great. If your friends knew how to make you wealthy, you wouldn't need an opportunity. I don't want anybody that I know. So you say, but what about, I don't want to cold call on social media. I don't even know how to do that. I don't have the personality. I don't want to talk to people that I don't know. I don't want to feel like a salesperson. I don't want to pitch. Nor do I. So guess who's the best people that you should go after? Always look for who's looking for you, looking for me, looking for you. My whole team knows that. I'm looking for you, looking for me, looking for you. If you are not looking for me, I'm not looking for you. So it's very easy for me to go right here where it says friends request. Can you guys see that? Diana, Al, can y'all see that right there? And I'm gonna click on all. And oh my God, all these people are looking for me. They're all asking, and it just keeps going. And I can never run out of prospects. All these people want me to confirm them as a friend. All of them. And it's very easy for me to go and say, you know what? Hey, let me go to Penny. Penny does wedding ceremonies, consultant. She's an official. I'm gonna click on Penny. And I'm not gonna confirm Penny. I'm gonna leave her a message. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna leave a voice print. Hey Penny, how you doing? This is Byron Nelson. I see you requested me as a friend. And I also see you're a marriage consultant. Do you know how many marriages? I gotta go to 3 weddings over the next 3 months. On top of that, because of my business, I have a whole lot of people who I've been to some really bad weddings, Penny, so I'm sure they need your help. I'm on this thing and I don't get on often because I like collaborating with people that have an amazing business mind. And I'd like to see some of your work. I'd like to be able to just have a conversation with you over the next. Now I'm going out of town today. I won't be back for another week after Valentine's, but I would love to have a conversation with you and do a Zoom and see how I can build and serve and bring you some more business. And then see if there's on the back end something we can do to collaborate. I just don't do random relationships, but I would love to build one with you and around you in serving what you currently do, because I got some people who need you. Talk to you soon. Have an amazing weekend. Mr. Al Thomas, was that outside the box?
Yes, sir. And I love it because now people can see you do something outside the box. I don't know why we don't do things outside the box. And you know what happens? That's why Mr. Nelson's the senior vice president. Notice he didn't beg nobody. He said, let's collaborate. And people need your services. And let's see if we can possibly hook up and do some things together. I love it. Outside the box. Yes, sir.
That's it.
Bingo.
You know, and they're looking for me being you. Every one of you have at least 20, for all the women, and this was part of the women's empowerment, like every guy I talked to, they trying to sleep with me. They were trying to sleep with you before you got into the business. Just be clear about that. Let's just understand that, okay? It has nothing to do with the business. And if you do it from a male perspective to a female, then there's a way in which you have to be professional about being able to deliver your message. You don't sit up there like, oh, I saw your Facebook page and you're really cute or you're attractive. I'd love to connect with you. And no. It's like if you come above board, like I've seen outfits I'll give you a problem. I gotta do one more. You gotta get this. Try this. So we're gonna go here. Right. So we're gonna go back. Check this out. It's powerful. So we're sitting here, right? We'll close that out. And I'll see someone like that. Tracy Sanders. Everybody knows I love hats, knows I love flair. If I were to be attracted to someone through a picture, that would be the first one that stands out in this setting. Now watch this. Well, click on Tracy. She's in real estate. And go back here, leave a message. Tracy, I see that you requested me as a friend. I'm loving your swag, your picture, your hat, the way you dress. In fact, Valentine's Day is coming up, and I do a shopping spree during the entire month of Black History Month for my woman. And I want to know where you get some of your stuff, as well as I have a client base of a whole bunch of people who buy real estate. In fact, currently on my phone right now, I have a multimillionaire, and he made his money through real estate all over the country. We're now looking for this fallout that's about to happen, because you know it's going to be a fire sale on real estate of someone who I can do business with, who has an eye on the ground for real estate going on. So I would love to connect with you. I don't do random connections. I'm going to be out of town for the next week. Hit me back and let me know after the week of Valentine's if we can do a Zoom. Have an amazing freaking weekend, love, and keep your swag on. It's a very simple thing. I don't know if you guys get how that works. In a relationship, out of relationship, because even when I was single for 20 years, I would literally, my fiance, if I didn't have a fiance, I intended on having one. If I didn't have a woman, I intended on having one. If I didn't have a wife, I'd meet a woman out and be like, man, I'm loving your outfit. You carrying that stuff really good, sister. My wife would love that. Oh, you're married? No, but when I get married, I need to know where you got to. So you got to understand the game, that the system doesn't change on learning how to compliment somebody, create a border around yourself, come off from a professional perspective, bring down the walls of a professional woman, be able to go and compliment another man. So either you're going to stroke his ego or you're going to build his confidence up, because men only fall in one of two categories. Either they lack a whole lot of confidence or they already got a big ego. Either way, you're opening up with a compliment to be able to build a relationship that they'll bring down their wall to exchange information with you. And I don't understand how a person can't come up with a minimum of 10, it's called 10 contacts a day. It's a contact sport. You want to write that down. It's a contact sport to hit 10 people a day with a compliment. I was driving into the office this morning and I said, you know, I got to go to the bank anyway. I just got to decide if this week I want to do 100 or 1,000. And I said, let me do 100, because you know what? I did 100 before and I offered it to a child, and the child was 7 years old. And he looked at me and said, what am I supposed to do with this? That's how much inflation is today. But you could do 100 with a $5 bill. You could take it up and choose 10 people, or you could choose 20 people, right? 10 is a $10 bill, 20 is 5. I like the 5. And I'll go, I literally go on an intention. I'm doing this over the next 24 hours. I do this randomly once a week right now during my month. And I just go and I'm like, I'll be at a Starbucks, or I'll be at any place, you know, a Tim Hortons, or I'll go and get me a bagel. And I'm like, man, I just found this $5. I want to give it to you. I just want to bless you today. You have no idea what they'll do. Just give up. You can't find prospects. Would you invest $100 for the person who says, I can't find nobody? I can't acquire customers. I don't know how to find any client base. I don't know how to establish relationships. I don't know how to talk to people. To give away $25 bills. Soon you'll grow up and be able to wear, you know, Sal Thomas's shoes or mine. and give away $10,000 to a whole bunch of people. That's your gift. It's just wrapped up in a bow, all on the tree. I do it on my family. But start with 5 and find out how extraordinary that feels to bless somebody, to just touch somebody. Now there's going to be, out of that 20 people, you may have 10 who like, what am I doing $5? But the thought in itself, if they have a conscience, is second to none. And then you may come across 10 people, and those 10 people, they are done. So does that make sense? You guys with me on that so far? To be able to touch a life, to inspire a life, some people just need a smile. They don't need your money. And then you may come across somebody who you have no idea how much they needed that $5 or $10. Have no idea. That's $400 a month if you did once a week of just giving away 5. Now you may be like, well, it cost me $200 to get a business, it cost me this, it cost me that. We're talking about investing in your business. You spend $400 on yourself, spend $400 in learning how to turn it to 4,000. And that 100 is just, I'm just using that as an example. We don't have the time for me to do an intense training the way I normally would. Of, okay, what are you going to do the next week with that 100? Cards, handwritten cards, and a $5 gift card sent in the mail to 20 people the second week. Just a $5 Starbucks card. What am I going to do the next week? Well, I'm going to get me whatever bookstore is close to me. I'm going to get 10 gift cards for a book and write out some more cards and hand deliver. Or I might buy 5 books, write an entire message in it and say, after you read the book, we need to have lunch and talk about this book. Your brain has to constantly be in creative mode of thinking outside of the box, to live outside of the box, to get paid outside of the box, to do more than what you could ever do before. If you're getting caught up in what everybody else tells you, you're going to get what everybody else gets, which is generally nothing. So you have number 2, cards. I'm going to give you 15 real fast. 2 is cards. Number 3, I love coffee and money. I would set up a night in which I had everybody come, and it was actually called C&M at one specific coffee shop. It got so big, we had over 150 people showing up every Monday night at this coffee shop. Only started off with me and like 3 people. Like, well, what's happening? I said, I'm having a party over at this coffee shop right over here where everybody knew where it was. And every Monday night from 6 until 10, I will be there. And all we're doing is having coffee and money. Your first coffee is on me. That was for the first 5, 10, 15. After that, it got out of control. But so long as I could do it, I would literally take care of, after it got out of control, what I would do is I would take care of the first 10 people that showed up. Every Monday, I would take care of the first 10 people, go get a coffee. It's already taken care of. Somebody come up, they'd be like, oh, you're number 11. You're going to have to take care of your own. The first 10, that means you get here early when I start talking about money. The value was created behind that concept. It was either to get together. What is the hardest part of this business, of any business? It's just to get someone to see your business. It's just getting someone to hear what you're talking about. To find an ear that wants to hear, wants to listen to what you have to talk about. But if you serve them first, they'll listen to anything. Number 4, an exclusive call. I don't invite people onto a call for everybody. Oh, Camille, I'm having a call tonight. You need to get on. Oh, Manny, I need you. My mentor, Byron Nelson, my mentor, Al Thomas, he getting on the call. Oh, no. I'm calling on Manny, say, yo, me. Manny, this was happening. There's a guy that has generated a significant amount of money. I don't want to talk about how much, but it has a whole lot of zeros in it. And the way he did that was by teaching other people how to make a whole lot of zeros. And it is on invite only. In fact, he's been on board of directors. I don't know if it's Chase or banks. In fact, he had his own bank. And you're talking about this economy wanting to make money. I'm telling you about how I'm about to change my address. If I can get you a pass, if I can get you a pass and get you on the call at 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday, could you make the time to get on the call? I don't know. Yeah, I'd love to, but I don't. Look, if you don't know, then don't worry about it, because you are not going to embarrass me. Because once I tell him you're getting on, once I tell Warren Buffett I'm getting you on and you don't show up, you're going to completely discredit me. I'm going to lose my own space at the table. Nobody's supposed to be on this call. This is the one that unlocks everything about being able to generate the money you want to make in your lifetime. You will never, if he likes you in a year's time, you'll never work a job again in your life. It's really a job interview because he knows everyone that's on that call. So he's going to call me to ask me who you are and how you got on this 7-figure call. An exclusive call only. Every time I invite, there's value behind it. Not, oh, well, this, you can't miss this call. This was going to be the, might as well be that balloon on that post. Number 5, holiday gatherings. Well, what do you mean by holiday gatherings? I'm having a Valentine's party for all the couples I know. I'm bringing them to a house. I'm doing a dinner. I'm going to meet somewhere. We're going to do a gathering, and I'm giving away gifts. Their insurance is going to be taken care of. They don't need to know what my gifts are. I'm bearing gifts. Their travel is going to be taken care of. I'm about to hook them up. They have no idea how many hookups I'm going to be getting them. Look, I'm going to take care of you. By the time this year ends, you won't be paying for your utilities. You just need to just show up to this meeting. It's a private meeting only, gathering only for the people I love. It's a Valentine's Day. If you can't make it, then I'll take my heart back and give it to somebody else, because I only want 10 people here. It's an extraordinary way to be able to market your business, but you have to have a belief system and understanding what you're doing. Number 6, making yourself attractive. Making yourself attractive. Not some of the time, all the time. All the time. I have a different pair of glasses to wear every time I get in my car. I get stopped for the car and the glasses every time. This is like, brother, I love those glasses. I know you'll never find them anywhere else. They aren't Ray-Bans. Yes, these are expensive. They're antiques. They're collectibles. I got 2 pair. I had the actual designer make them for me. Make yourself attractive. Make yourself stand out. That's what outstanding means, right? Make sure your nails are done. Make sure that your skin is glowing. Make sure that your hair is done. I did my hair this morning. Look at that. What? Anyway, I'm sorry. 7, events of interest. Events like, for example, I was invited. I have 2 of my mentees. One is named, well, it's Dr. Hal and Betty Walker. They've been on my team for years. Dr. Hal and Betty Walker are actually, Dr. Walker, Hal Walker, is actually the one who created the laser that put the space shuttle, the Apollo 11 and the 13 on the moon. He's one of the very few men of color, it being Black History Month, that actually has his work in the Smithsonian Institute. He just bought his own vineyard, and he's doing things with wine. And so they went to surprise me because I've been blessing them in investing and doing some extraordinary things. So I went to have dinner with them last night, exquisite dinner, by the way. And so while we're sitting there, we're talking about number 7, events of interest. I'm going to run through these so that we aren't here for a whole hour, but I want you to get this one. The wine tasting was amazing, but what I'm actually doing in about 2 weeks is really WTB. And I'm having an artist actually create the almost like a what's it called when you get a patch, the crest. I'm having a crest made. So the crest is WTB. And then those that become a permanent part of that circle, they all gonna get a crest and have to wear it on the evening of. Well, I'm doing it at a pool and a beautiful view, and it's just with WTB. Well, what is WTB? It's wine, tequila, and business. And I just haven't figured out how to add the C in there for cigars, because I have a corner just for cigars for me and Al Thomas. So it's just a beautiful thing because everyone comes together on wine. Tequila is my flavor of choice. And to be able to have cigars is a whole nother place in which has become a space. Cigars is right up there with golfing these days. It's where business deals are made and people are able to talk about everything from the leaf to how it was cured to everything. So, you know, you got to create events of interest, you know. So running through that and you got to get this recording because I don't have time to train all out. Maybe I'll finish the rest of this next week. In fact, that's what I'll do because there's actually 15. I'm going to finish the other 8. So I want you to get this piece. I'll close out on this here. So to respect the time frame, here and here. So my word for right now, or for this week and for this month, is called shift. Those who have been following me know it's about a shift. When you're driving a car, you have to move from 1st to 5th gear. Some have a 6th and 7th gear, but we'll just deal with the basic. And too many of you are constantly driving in 5th gear, burning the engine out. There are times in which you need to have it in 2nd gear going downhill. There's times in which you need to have it in 3rd gear where you're coasting. And you don't wait until something happens in your life before you shift. You need to know how to shift through each layer of your life. The acronym SHIFT stands for, and I'll go deeper on this later as well, the S stands for start. Many of you think about what you're doing and don't start anything. You take all these notes, all this information, induce all this time, but what are you starting? What are you going to start today and finish today? 2-3 times a day. See what I have here? I'm going to tell you how I was on time today. That's what I'm working on, being on time in 23. It's going to be a challenge, but I got a lot better in 22. 23 is going to be even better. But I got a project clock. When I woke up this morning, I started the project clock. I acted like the call at 8 o'clock started in 15 minutes. And it started counting. And when the 15 minutes was up, if I wasn't at my desk, there was a problem. And there always is one. But I bought myself another 45 minutes. I got here in 15 minutes. When I contact people, I literally set it for an hour. I'll go to an hour. And start my project clock. Nobody can call me during this hour. Everybody will go to voicemail. Anybody bothering me during my prayer time, my meditation time, my contact time, they just get voicemail. If I can get back to them, I will. But I cannot afford, and I literally started this on Monday, and I did it just as a test to ramp up. It's going to be in full throttle this week because it's like there's only 19 days left in this month. People don't understand how many text messages I get, how many calls I get. So if I get 3 calls, it disrupts my entire day. So you have to have block time for what you're doing. So I even talked to my mother this morning when I woke up this morning. I said, Mom, if it's an emergency, you pick up the phone and call me. Outside of that, text me. I'm calling you 3 times throughout this day. These are your times. Anything you need, this is what you need, even while you have in-home care. But Mom, I cannot afford to. Now, my mom doesn't bother me at all. Don't get it twisted. In fact, she works not to. I'm just sharing with you that with every person, I had this with Miss Yancey last night. I have everybody in my world. It's like, this is the clock. If you don't get a call back, if you decide to get pissed off and leave my life, leave. It's real simple. I'm cool because I need to be effective during this season, and I can't be effective. I had somebody on my team call me about their money like 3-4 times. I haven't got my money. Look, you know what? Don't ever call me again in your lifetime because your mental muscle of anxiety has not been developed for business. You don't need to be a business person or an investor. You need to go get a job and stay on it for the rest of your life. My man hasn't called me. My woman hasn't called me. Then you don't need a relationship if you're sitting around waiting for that. You should have a woman that's actually building a life that is ridiculous, that you can't get to her and you're proud of her because she's out there bringing home more than you are. not every 3 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever. Entitlement and expecting someone to answer a phone. Get the hell out of here. So I'm telling you guys, this right here, this project clock, y'all all need to get one. It's off the chain. So the shift, start H, happening. What is happening in your life? What is, what has, and what will happen in the next 19 days. That's happening. That's in the shift. Intelligent moves. Take your time and make smart moves so you don't have to keep doing something over and over again. It's called emotional intelligence. You have to have a balance with what you're doing so nothing triggers you and takes you off your mark of completing things every day. The X factor, the F stands for factor, X factor. Plan on the unexpected. Nothing will happen the way you expect it to happen. It never does. And the T brings me right back to my clock. It's going to be your greatest adversary or your worst nightmare called time if you don't learn how to make it work for you. As Dr. Thomas already said, this month is already gone. You're already in the March Madness. This is why you start your New Year's Eve on October 31st, because if you had started on October 31st, you'd be in full throttle. Most people are just starting their life mid-February, getting into March saying, I'm just ramping up, it's the new year. No, new year is over. Over. You have less than 10 months of a year left. You don't even have that. Let's see here, you got March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Yeah. September. You got like less than 8 months left in this year before you start buying into all the excuses of people wearing a mask and people celebrating Black Friday and thinking that a turkey was actually for the Americans, and you know, Christmas is a big fat white man and with a haircut that comes down the chimney. And you got about 8 months before everybody starts living into a lie again and putting on, you know, holidays and spending money that they didn't make in the last 8 months because they didn't complete any task. You better shift. You need a tectonic shift, tectonic plate shift, an earthquake shift, like now, like right now, like right now. It's not Friday for you. It's Friday for everybody else. They're like, thank God it's Friday, thank God it's Friday. That's an employee mentality. That's stupid. My week is still going. I'm making money 7 days a week, every day, every hour. I don't have time to wait for somebody else. So that is my training for this morning, and I'll get you started. I mean, Mr. Thomas, the floor is yours, Doctor.
Dr. Nelson, thank you. Work ethic, number one. Number two, vision. Number three, character. Wow. Whew, law of attraction. Higher frequencies. Whew, my goodness. 10 contacts a day. Look, he just gave you guys where you're getting contacts. Give out money. It's so funny. Oh my God. I do this a couple times a year, and I thought I never even discussed this with you, but people don't get that part. They're so busy. Whatever you want more of, give it away and watch it come back fast and you give it away. I won't talk about that.